Hey everybody, welcome back to the comment section, Fluff Edition. We're here to fluff you, but not like they do before those adult movies. Poker Guy, how you doing out there in the
Good,
warm
man.
state of Florida?
I'm good. I'm ready to be fluffed, man. Let's fluff away. Let's do it.
Let's fluff away. I hear Jeff Bezos is getting some extra fluff, and I think I haven't followed that closely, but he's getting divorced. That's about all I know. He's worth $138 billion. Depends daily. Like his wealth is tied into a lot of it's tied into the stock price of Amazon, but give or take, that's pretty good.
Either. I don't really know much either. All I really know is a couple things: is he's super mega rich, he's bald, and he doesn't have a prenup, which makes this divorce supposedly the biggest divorce in the world's history, and it's fucking stupid. And I don't know what your opinion is of this guy, but fuck this guy. These people aren't heroes. They're fucking assholes. And, fuck them. And they're touting him like he's this awesome dude. So, Jeff Bezos, I know you're listening to the pod. Okay? I know you're listening.
That's the thing. He is listening.
That's what I'm saying. He is listening. Got my Alexa.
Computer's listening.
Yeah.
Like his
That's why he doesn't give a fuck, man. That's why he doesn't give a shit. He's literally like, He's a Skynet, dude. He's like the Terminator, but like the bad Terminator.
The cop, the guy dressed up as a cop that's liquid. The T-1000.
And the woman, though, in the Terminator 3. So not just men can be evil robots. Women can also be evil robots, just to clarify to the women listeners, okay?
I didn't mean to be... I didn't mean to assume a Terminator's gender. That was fucked up.
It was wrong of me, and it'll never happen again.
It's wrong. I apologize. That will never happen again, and I'm as sorry about that as Kareem Hunt is about his many assaults on multiple individuals over a long period of time. Did you seek any sort of counseling yet in these past 11 months? Oh no. But now that I'm caught, I think I will.
Well, it's needless to say that Kareem Hunt is potentially innocent from these crimes, because there's really no way to prove that was Kareem Hunt drop-kicking chicks on the surveillance video, right?
Well, that's an unintentional transition probably into the Shaggy defense all-time champion R. Kelly. So R. Kelly, I don't know if you remember, but back in the day, he got into a bit of a dilemma involving him peeing on some underage girl. Are you familiar with that in R. Kelly's history?
I kind of am, but I never grasped it as a kid. But it sounds like you've actually seen like this documentary. You were telling me there's a documentary about R. Kelly doing pee-pee and poo-poo on people.
Yeah, I didn't see the documentary. I saw of the documentary. So I speak mostly from historical knowledge of, and also pertaining to that South Park episode where R. Kelly sings, I'm gonna piss on you. That's a reference to him peeing on an underage girl.
Show.
Oh, that was Chappelle's show?
That's Chappelle's show.
Oh, that was Chappelle's show. Pardon me. Pardon me.
He's gonna pee on people and poo on people, but the South Park was when he's trapped in a closet, and he, trapped in a closet. Remember, like he had those music videos where he was trapped in a closet.
Yeah.
He's got the gun, and then he's fucking the
and I pull out my gun. That's R. Kelly.
Out my Beretta.
I thought it was Kanye with the "and I pull out my gun."
No, that's just you being racist. No, that was definitely R. Kelly that pulled out the gun. He did Ignition. Okay. Remember? Let me get that poo.
Yeah,
Let me get
I know.
That pee.
I know of Ignition. Okay.
I believe I can fly. Come on, brother. I believe I can.
I know his catalog. All right, we don't need to spend our time going through R. Kelly's catalog. But he pulled the
why
Shaggy.
Are we talking about R. Kelly? People are mad at him, or I thought people were kind of neutral about it.
Well, they just recently made a documentary about what a fucking dirtbag he is.
So he's a confirmed dirtbag. It's confirmed.
Confirmed dirtbag.
Oh, okay.
Right,
okay.
Like super confirmed dirtbag.
Well, what has he done? Like, what kind of things has he done?
Oh, let's see here. Documentary puts new attention on R. Kelly's sex allegations involving underage girls.
Did you see the video of him like on stage? He was like at the end of the stage, and like if at a concert you're like right there, you can like wave your arms and like fucking Blink-182 can high five you or whatever.
Yeah.
Or Smash Mouth can give you like a bro pound. He did that, and he kind of went on the edge of the stage, and he leaned back where like in his sweatpants you can kind of like see his like dick. It's just like just people are rubbing on his dick, and I feel like there was a lot of clamoring for it. Like nobody was stopping them. It's not like they were forced to do it. I don't know. I'm just trying to be the devil's advocate here, I guess.
I don't understand how that's being the devil's advocate. I think that's
I don't know. You just
kind
gotta
that's just stacking more
just pull his
evidence
dick.
against him. That's not really being the devil's advocate at all. That's stacking more evidence against him.
Yeah, but he's just standing there. You know what I mean? Like, what was he supposed to do at that moment? You know?
I don't know. I mean, all I'm saying is he successfully pulled off the Shaggy defense. The "it wasn't me." He did that. It is in the legal pantheon because of R. Kelly, and I don't know if he's gonna still stick with that with all this shit. He would the just go double down on the Shaggy defense, or what his plan is, but he's not looking very good. The funny thing is, after that documentary aired, he had a big spike in downloads on Spotify
That's
for
what I'm
whatever
saying,
reason.
dude. That's what I'm saying. He's taking advantage of that free marketing. You know?
I
That's some
guess
sick
any
marketing, dude. He's
I
number
guess
one
any publicity
trending,
is,
and
is good publicity,
well,
even
you know
if
me
you're
and my
into.
conspiracy theories, man. I think what if this is all allegedly there just to sell his fucking CDs? You know what I mean?
That doesn't make any sense, though. I don't
I
feel
just
that.
got the hat on, man. I'm just saying. I'm just repeating things that my brain comes up with. I don't agree with it. I'm just repeating things. All right. Got
All
the
right.
hat on. There you go.
Okay. Well, here we go. Let's get in to our weekly rendition of my strange addiction. So we're gonna hit a couple of these other people. You haven't. I don't think you've seen these ones. So I'm
I
just
don't think
gonna.
I've seen any of these. You just surprised me with them.
Yeah, I'm gonna surprise you with them. I'm gonna get your live reaction to these people and their addictions.
Am I
So
YouTubing him? Am I pulling him up here?
you can pull them up if you want. I can't remember this lady's name, but it is what her name is inconsequential to what her husband's name is and who he is. So there's Foxykins. There's that lady that last week that was a horse and presumably loved to get fucked by horses, though perhaps not as intensely as your good friend Mr. Hand is described. I'll tell you what, Doc. I don't know what happened. I just woke up and just wasn't feeling good. I don't know how I got this way.
I've just been walking like a penguin. I don't know what happened. I just feel weird
I don't
now.
even
You
know what
know.
happened. I'll tell you what, 1 in a million shot there, Doc. 1 in a million shot.
I just fell on it. You know. I just fell on
just,
it, and
just
it
fell on
wasn't
it.
me. You know.
I don't
It
wear
wasn't me.
clothes. I don't usually wear clothes. I'm a bit of an exhibitionist. What can I say? That's why when I fell on it, it did this.
Yeah. I
It
like
did
I
this.
like doing I like doing gymnastics. You know. Sometimes I do a front flip. Sometimes I do a back flip. Sometimes I land on a horse's cock. You know. Things happen.
Shit
You know.
happens.
Shit happens.
Shit happens. So she's not. This lady's not fucking a horse. She's fucking a Ferris wheel. All right. So she's literally fucking a Ferris wheel. I do it not justice. It's not a straight Ferris wheel. It's got a little bit of an overhead or a spin to it or something like that. But it's essentially a Ferris wheel, and its name is Bruce. And they, as of airing the show, they've been married for 3 straight years.
Who?
And unlike some of these other ones, they actually ask. They're like, yeah, "What's up with you and Bruce?" Like romantically, and she definitely fucks pieces of this Ferris wheel on a nightly basis. Is what you get coming out of that show.
I mean, what? Like what? Um, I'm sitting here looking at it. I guess she's got a disorder. She's in love with inanimate objects. It's not even like a roller coaster. It looks like something that you would need to like build power lines. It's just a giant ladder, and she's climbing on it.
Yeah, it doesn't even have cars
And
or anything. It's I think she's got a couple of them that she's squeezed into her trailer. She lives on some sort of special land. It's residential entertainment land. So she can take Bruce on there. It's coded specifically for her husband in his presence so that she can scrub him and fuck him to her heart's delight.
So it looks here like she's eating pizza. There's candles. She's dressed as best as she could ever look. You know, it's just like this.
Just get dolled up. Bruce had a long day today. It was rainy out there.
Getting dolled up with those cargo pants and that cargo shirt, and just.
She's got more screws loose than Bruce does. All right.
Ooh,
You are fucking.
Yeah.
You
Nice.
are nuts. She's nuts.
You think she fucks like one of the light bulbs? I feel like the light bulb might be an appropriate shape, you know?
No, I don't think that. I think he's made of cold, hard steel. And I think she's fucked all different sizes of poles and whatever's phallic enough to satisfy her. I just hope she's covering it up, is all I'm saying. I hope she's having protected sex with Bruce. Because she could probably get like a tetanus pussy.
That's what I'm saying. You probably get tetanus from that, no?
I would think, right? I mean, I don't know.
Would that be an STD? Is that considered like an STD? How does that work?
I don't know how that would present. I mean, I guess that's possible. They make some metal sex toys that are out there in the world. It's possible that doctors see that, but that'd be a very rare thing. That'd be a very rare thing to see.
Would you ever fall in love? Let's say in another multiverse, you yourself, Bobby Fever, are a similar person to this, and this is a multiverse where your wife doesn't exist. Okay.
Okay.
Would you fall in love with an inanimate object? And if you would, what inanimate object would you fall in love with?
I don't know. I don't think that I would. And
maybe like a car, like a nice little Toyota Prius.
Well, I mean, I would think if you would want just the most one of the like some sort of Japanese billionaire where you could get some type of sex doll. Where it's more robotic, where there's this actually you're rich enough where you realize there's a different world out there.
Right.
And you can already get super robots. If you had to go mechanical,
you want to
kind of Westworld. I guess Westworld would be.
So you'd get a Westworld robot, but it would look like a human, not like a ladder, right?
No, not a ladder or a Ferris wheel. I would want it as humanoid as possible. It's my
okay.
I am cis specied when it comes to my sexuality. I'm cis specied. I think that's
a perfect answer. That's a perfect answer.
Yeah, perfect. I think I navigated that well.
Yeah, perfect.
So let's go ahead. Let's
never talk about this woman again.
Let's never talk about her again.
Let's pretend she died in a horrible Ferris wheel accident, and we shall never speak of her again.
The wind got up. Bruce was going down. She tried to hold him up, and then it was over. Killed by the thing she loves the most. Murdered. Homicide. Homicide. Bruce has had an eye on that insurance money for forever.
It was Bruce. Bruce.
The neighbor comes over. I didn't like him from the moment I saw him. I knew he was trouble.
He was always so cold, you know? Something about him. He was just made of metal.
It didn't say two words to me. It came off very cold. Very cold.
That's stupid.
So there was another person who was fucking inanimate objects. No, I mean it wasn't. They didn't confirm. He actually kind of denied that he was, but it was. I mean, the evidence was pretty insurmountable by the end of it that was a false statement. So this kid, I don't remember his name, but he's a 20-year-old college student, and those are the years. Those are the years that you pine for when you're old and gray, and that's your time to get out there in the world and then reinvent yourself if you're not the person that you want to be, or just really enjoy the person that you are at whatever you're doing at that point in your life. This kid, he doesn't do that. He still lives at home with his parents. and he has 15. You know those inflatable swimming pool rafts?
Like there's alligators and whales and like a
Correct.
flamingo. Okay.
You can get a bunch of these
Oh
different
my god.
animal shapes, and he's got 15 of them that he rotates to where he just snuggles them, and he holds them, and he talks about how his mom never loved him growing up, and how he's got issues because of that. But he's got a pool though, so I'm not saying that your life can't be bad if you have a pool. I'm not saying that that's cure all, but I mean,
Yeah.
let's look at the bright side of things. You're in college, you got a pool, so things are pretty good there. Maybe you quit fucking. There's this giraffe that he particularly loves. That is it. That is the apple of his eye. Yeah, his bottom bitch is this giraffe who he saw, and then they got discontinued, and then he hunted one down on eBay, and he talks about like he's a Hollywood writer. He talks about how special it was. There are fucking men that have been men that marry women that don't feel these sorts of feelings when they look at at the women that they're gonna marry. That this guy talks about, he feels about that giraffe when he fucking blows her up for the first time and gets her in nice and close.
He really likes that giraffe, dude. I'm watching the video.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
really likes.
So he really loves that
Oh,
giraffe.
fuck. He really likes that giraffe, bro. What's wrong with this kid? God
Yeah,
damn it.
and
What's wrong with this kid?
eventually they get his cousin in there. I think his cousin, who I always love the fuck, I'm gonna be on TV with this weirdo. Like, I feel like those people, they don't know what they're signing up for when they go to sit down in front of the cameras. And then as the person that they know and don't really love, but is in their family, as they sit down and they talk to him, the fucking horror and shame that they're going to be on TV as this gets revealed. And they always try and take the high road, but it's always very, very empty.
This is unbelievable, man. This guy can't be serious right here.
He's very serious.
Yeah.
His friend, he actually has a person that's his friend, believe it or not, which is
Like a human being, or is like some
yeah,
kind of
no, a
inflatable,
human being.
humanoid shaped robot.
Yeah, it seems it's a human being, as far as I can tell. And his friend it almost seems like his friend lives in between worlds, the real world and then the world where this fucker lives in, and that it's confusing. It's a confusing thing for his friend. His friend watched The Matrix. If his friend ate a bag of mushrooms, he's probably only 13 or 14. No, I guess they're 20. All right, so never mind. If his friend ate a bag of mushrooms, like too many mushrooms, and watched Donnie Darko, it would be convinced that everything that kid wasn't fucking real. And that when he was actually talking to that kid, he was in some sort of different layer of an Inception onion.
There's got to be some. Sorry, go ahead.
Because there's nothing fucking real about that guy. He just sits around hugging inflatable animals and probably just jerking off all over them. Like all over him. My wife actually saw that episode, and she just turns to me and she says, "He is fucking those things." So, yeah, he definitely is.
Totally.
He definitely is.
He's finding all the grooves, all the creases, like the little whale has like a blowhole or something. He's sticking his dick in that thing, you know?
Doing that, rubbing on him for sure.
You can't find like a more pleasant inanimate object to fuck. You have to use a giant like 6-foot inflatable plastic toy. You know what I mean? You're like fucking a balloon.
Well, here's next level though. Here's next level. Well, I mean, you don't show all your cards to A&E or TLC or whoever's doing this. You don't show all your cards, right?
Right, because that would be stupid. That would be
I mean, very stupid. Don't open the book completely. Don't show all your cards. So he still got like a couple cards up his sleeve that we don't know about. And what if one of those is just a giant like roll of Gorilla Tape and a fleshlight. Like, there you go.
That's what I'm
Problem
saying,
solved.
bro. That's what I'm saying. Just get
He's
yourself
blast away on those things.
At that point, it's over. He's never coming out of his room. He's just gonna stay in his room. And,
the question is does he use the same fleshlight and just let it dry on his towel rack in the fucking bathroom? And every time he has to fucking piss or wash his hands or whatever, he's reminded of what a disgusting creature he is.
Dude, this guy's a fucking weirdo, bro. This guy's a weirdo. He's reading a book here. He's got a whale. He's got like 8 whales, dude. He's got like all these fish. And I like the giraffe though, man. He really likes that thing. Let me ask you a question, man. You said, did you watch the whole series? Did you watch the whole episode here, or did you watch like the?
I watched that episode. Yes, I watched.
Where are this kid's parents, dude?
Nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen in that episode. Absolutely.
They don't want to participate at all. They're just like, this is not my kid. Fuck him. I don't give a fuck about this child. Right? That's what they're doing.
Kind of. I mean, they're supplying him a place to live where he can have security amongst normal people. But that's got to be. I mean, that's Step Brothers. Quit being a fucking dinosaur. Quit acting like a dinosaur. Yeah. Has someone not told him that?
Fucking dinosaur, yeah.
Because mine would be a murder, like when Eric Cartman's stuffed animals get murdered. Like, it would be, they'd just all be gone. They'd be gone. If I was that kid's parents, I would fucking take them all but one. I'd leave one behind to tell the story to any other fucking inflatable that may try and show up about what's going to happen to him. I'd be like, all right.
Here's what you do. You come home. He goes to school. He comes home. They all have bullet holes right in the fucking center. Right in the center of their head. Just not like in the front lawn, all of them. Just boom. And then you have the giraffe hanging from like a noose, like up in the tree. And then he's got to like sit there and sob and try to save the thing because it might still be alive, but to his, to sadness, it's also got shot in the face, So that's what I would do, and then be like, hey man, look, things happen. Here's a fleshlight, and just move on with your life. Here's a fleshlight, and here's the internet. Just go distract yourself.
Say hello to the sunshine for me, Eric.
Who was the bad one? Was it Polly Prissy Pants?
Polly Prissy Pants. Yeah.
She was the bad one, huh?
Uh-huh. But it was always Eric, though. Yeah.
It was always Eric, right? Because he's so fucked up in the head.
Yeah. What? Yeah, he's definitely fucked up.
What about the panda? Wasn't there like a panda, too? There's like a panda and like a...
Yeah.
The frog. What was the fucking... Clyde Frog.
Clyde Frog. Yeah, Clyde Frog.
Man, I gotta rewatch those fucking episodes. I gotta rewatch this. All right, let's stop talking about this asshole Mark and his inflatable animals.
All right, so let's talk about another asshole who I think is gonna get revealed, hopefully, and that's the asshole that, well, he knocked up some lady, and the problem is that lady has been brain dead for several years.
We've all heard about this. If you're listening to the pod, you've heard about this. This is ridiculous.
So have you seen this? Have you heard about this? This is in the great state of Arizona, I do believe, and. Some woman who is in a, I don't know exactly what the terms are, but she's in a coma.
Vegetative state.
Vegetative state. So I don't know.
Long-term coma.
Yeah.
She's a tomato.
It's like, dude, don't ever let me spend 2 Christmases like that. I think she's been there for a while. It's like, dude, let my second Christmas be freedom from this cruel world that's got me trapped inside my own body.
Yeah. Just smother me, Just smother me, man.
False friends are not friend, man. Be a friend to me, man.
Would you kill me if I was there, like all potatoed out, and I'm just looking at you, like, Bobby? What would you do, man? Would you smother me, or would you what?
What do you mean? You can talk to me?
Like, I'm blinking. I guess I wouldn't be able to move, but all right. So this is on the record. We've had this conversation, don't let me spend. Don't put me on TV, and don't use me as a flag. And then I don't want to spend more than a year in that like state. You know what I mean? If I'm not coming back,
Yeah.
you know,
What comes back
just
out of there? It's like one of those sci-fi holes or sci-fi things. It's not.
you mean like Alien? You mean like Alien?
Kind
Spitting
of,
out of
but
my stomach.
more of like a plague virus type deal. Like people, it's what comes out of there that's the problem.
Oh, like that movie, The Pet Cemetery.
Pet Cemetery. I'm not super familiar with that. I know it's Stephen King originally, but I'm
No, it's
like,
just people bury their animals in the ground. It's an ancient burial ground. Don't go up there. It's that one South Park gets that thing from.
yeah.
Where it's
I'll
like,
tell you what, Mister
oh,
Marsh. It's not what you put in the ground. It's what comes out of it. It's a concern.
exactly. And the cat's like angry now, and it's all rabied out and shit. But if you put a person down there, what comes out?
Feed
What we
butters.
talk?
Feed.
Feed. Don't watch him. Do not watch him. Let him feed.
Let him feed. All right. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about her.
I
If
mean,
you're
what do you
not,
want to know? She's 29, long term pregnancy, and she just had a baby. And if you've ever seen Kill Bill, this is pretty much Kill Bill minus
minus a
she
stabbing,
minus.
hopefully.
She never wakes up in real life. In real life, she's dead. Well, like a tomato, long term care, whatever. So she's a tomato, and now she had a baby. And we were talking about it earlier. Like the question is, how are you going to catch this guy? Because we live in a world where people have to be held accountable, right? And it can't be the healthcare facility's fault because they're not in charge. They're not the ones in charge of managing
I'm
this. It
sure it
has to
can
be.
be their fault in one
It
way or
can't.
another,
Well,
particularly if it was an employee of theirs. So they submitted for DNA tests for everybody that worked there. Even Kenny, who quit last week, we're still going to need his blood, even though he doesn't work
what
here
about that
anymore.
guy who quit like yesterday due to personal reasons?
Yeah, do we still need to get his? Oh, we do? Okay. Nothing to.
But they're never going to catch the guy, though. You know what I mean? Because that guy, he wasn't doing it. He was probably having people pay for it, right?
But
That's the only.
wouldn't you think that there are at least a few cameras around that place?
Well, that's kind of what I was getting at, where I was like, they want to find somebody because they need to hold somebody accountable. Because reality is they need to put fucking cameras up. Maybe not in the actual rooms because these people deserve to have their dignity, but at least in the hallways, so you can know like, hey, some asshole walked into 41B and left an hour later, and a crime was committed then, and it's pretty easy to point fingers at that point. But
But you got to
they never did
wonder,
that. They
are
never did
they?
that.
I mean, they won't be able to probably find out the actual night of whoever
No, no,
did it,
God
but they'll
no,
probably be able to
God
catch
no,
him at some point walking into that room of, hey, White Kenny that quit 2 weeks ago, what's he doing there at 2 a.m, man? He's not on
dude.
shift.
Who is this? Who is this? Some Puerto Rican guy walking around. This guy doesn't work here.
He doesn't work here. He's got one arm. It's that one-armed fella. They got her all knocked up. See, the kid's only got one arm. I got two arms.
How'd you know he
So
had one arm? No, I was chasing a guy and one of his arms fell off. That's how I figured it
yeah,
out. Get
I
this, there's a one armed
actually,
guy. Get this, fucking crazy man, crazy person.
I'm surprised you guys didn't find the arm. Yeah, he must have took it with him when he left.
It was Harrison Ford. Fine, it was Harrison Ford. All right, it was him. It was him the whole time.
He pays me to do this. We're not insinuating that Harrison Ford did this.
It's The Fugitive, guys. Watch The Fugitive. It's a killer movie. It's a classic.
Killer. So, all right, let's talk about another lady, the featured lady of the day, the poop lady. So, if you don't want to hear us talk about a lady who lives in her own poop, well, you don't want to listen to the rest of this thing. So, goodbye.
Adios. But
Goodbye.
you're gonna
But
want
for
to
the rest
listen
of
in because
you,
it's.
so this is not an unpopular thing. So this is season 6, episode 4 of the Hoarders. This lady named Shanna, she's the poop lady. Now this is old. I think this is maybe like a decade old. So
Yeah, this is old.
we're not bringing you anything new here. But I'd never seen this. I've seen probably a season's worth of Hoarders, 20 episodes, but I'd never fucking seen this thing until you told me about it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, I don't like stirring up old shit. See what I did there? Because
I do. Okay. I
Okay.
was drinking some water. I would have, helped you.
You would have faked giggled, but either way.
Yeah, I would have.
Either way.
But she's got shit
This
of all
lady-
ages, like all ages.
This lady-
Like literally.
It's a really
rings of it.
shitty episode. It's a shitty episode. Apparently, it's this woman, and what she does is she shits in bottles in her house. But what makes this whole thing funny is that she doesn't smell it, and she's blaming she's blaming the smell, the stink, the allergies, the destruction on the mold and the dust, not on the thousands upon thousands of bottles of as she calls it, dirty water.
She's
But it
got
isn't
some dirty water. It's just
What
dirty
is it?
water. What makes
is
it
it,
dirty?
Bobby? It's not dirty
all the
water.
poop, actually. All the poop
Shit.
is what makes it dirty. So, little background on Shanna. She lived with her mom, and I don't know. Did you see the picture of her with her mom?
I only watched the 3-minute clip, and I wish I
Okay.
could have gotten those 3 minutes back.
So she looks exactly like her mom. Looks exactly
Okay.
like him. All right, so that's just a 2.0 version of her mom. And she got a lot of other stuff from her mom. She has a couple brothers and sisters in this thing that are disgraced beyond belief that they're of the same kin as Shanna. Like they are really, really dismayed at the position that she's put herself in. So Shanna actually got to live with her mom for a while before her mom died. And that is when people say that they got to kind of super hoarding. That's when the piss bottles came out, essentially, was when those two Captain Planeted their hoarding race together.
They did like that Power Ranger thing. They became like the Megatron. They joined forces. and
We're a
created
giant
Mega
cat. I
Hoarder.
think that was what, Ultron?
I don't know. One's like a lizard. One's like a giant lizard, a giant like robot. I don't know. Who the fuck knows nowadays?
So
But
when
anyway,
the two
so
of
they
them,
formed the super hoarder.
yeah, they started really just working off each other, kind of like a couple dudes that just like drinking beers and doing coke. You don't want to get those guys living together. Like no one's going to bed till 4 a.m. Like you're just in a shit show of just two people whose worst aspects are just feeding off of each other. So you get Shanna moving in with their mom, and then they just start shitting in bottles. But Shanna proudly shows you that there is a small amount of space left between the toilet and the rim. It is completely full of fecal matter. But there's a little just in case space for those of you, I guess for guests. I guess to be polite for guests, should the need arise. For anyone in their home who doesn't feel comfortable shitting in Shanna's personal bucket.
Yeah. So what happens when the toilet is clogged? Where do you shit? Like where do you piss?
I mean, fuck.
Like I'm saying at her house.
In the bucket.
I'm asking
You do it in the bucket.
All right. So there's this bucket.
It's a
What
big
happens
bucket.
when the bucket gets full? Like, because at some point, right, the bucket doesn't have an exhaust, doesn't have a drain.
No.
Where does, what do you do?
So I don't know what I do, but I know what Shanna does. And what Shanna does is she gets a smaller bucket and she siphons off. Probably the thing is, I bet that bucket never gets like completely emptied because she just kind of waits for it to fill up and then empties some of it into a smaller bucket, kind of like an oil pan type bucket. She's living her life Vin Diesel style, one oil pan at a time when it comes to cleaning the piss and shit out of her own house. And she empties it into that. And then the question is, at this point, what do you do to dispose of it? I mean, you gotta do
Well,
something.
you usually would flush it down the toilet, but the toilet's
But
clogged.
you can't do that. You can't do that. Your
Right,
toilet's clogged.
right. Well, the drain probably is clogged too.
Absolutely, it
Um,
is. There's no doubt about that.
okay, well, you can't dump it in the trash can because that's
No,
absurd.
they'll get
Yeah.
onto you real quick. They'll get onto you quick.
Yeah. Where else can you put it?
I guess you just dump it in your yard. Because that's what Shannon does. She just dumps it in her yard. That's
That's
her
awesome.
that's her solution to things is to dump it in her yard. So the Hoarders
Man.
crew, they've moved through there a little bit, and the guy running the show, the producer running this segment, he's fucking on it. And he's not taking any shit from her. He's like one of these cops because Shanna is about to give him some "these aren't my pants" answers, and he asks her. He says, "Shanna, why do you think it smells so bad?" And she tells him, "Well, I think it's because the mildew, the mold, and the other kind of irritants in the air." He says, "No, it's the urine and the feces."
It's all this shit.
Your house is packed to the brim with urine and feces. So Shanna, I gotta ask you, you didn't think that maybe the urine and the feces were contributing to the smell? And she says, "Well, I mean, I got used to it." Like, she got used to it. She got some olfactory fatigue to the horrible stench that's going on in her house. And this guy does not have the same desensitization to the conditions. The fact that he's not in an outbreak suit is actually pretty amazing to me.
It's amazing. It's fucking amazing. He probably didn't know. He probably was like, "Is this mud?" Because it can't possibly be shit. There's no way,
no way.
that all this shit is
No.
really shit.
It
This
can't
has
be.
to be mud. Can't be.
Can't be.
Can't be.
And he says to her, it's not, it's the, the feces and the shit several times. He's like, it's the feces and the urine that are causing that. And then she's surprised. She's surprised to get this information. She says, "Nah, that's news
Confusing.
to me." I'll tell you what, they should tell you these things. He tells her that you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to tell people not to
It's just not making
store
any sense.
unlimited amounts of poop in their house, in jugs in their house. And she was talking
There's like
sentimentally
this,
about the fucking excrement bottle pile in the backyard. She's like, "Hey, my mama's solution to the toilet." Fucking going out for these bottles. So I proudly stacked these bottles for her. Proudly stack them for her.
You couldn't paint her a picture or like do something more neutral. You had to pile up fucking used Dasani water bottles and shit in them, and then just stack them. Doesn't make any sense to me, man.
It's
Did you
just
see
crazy.
the part where she was eating food? She was like, eating food.
Yeah. So then
She's eating
later,
like soup or like oatmeal, and there's like
he
shit
calls
in the
her.
bowl.
He calls her out before that because she's holding this shit bucket, and he says, what's that on the inside of that?" She says, "Oh, it's shit." He says, "Okay, so you're about to eat right now. Were you go?" Just curious. Were you gonna wash your hands before you did that, or are you just kind of like, "Fuck it"? And she says, "I'll be honest, I was." She's very real about it, though. She says, "I'll be honest, I wasn't. I wasn't gonna wash my hands. I wasn't gonna wash those. I was just gonna kind of go for it, get that chicken." And then she puts the bowl of her chicken noodle soup or whatever the fuck it is into the toaster oven in a paper bowl, and it starts smoking a little bit. It doesn't completely catch on fire. I guarantee she's had others that have, but it doesn't completely catch on fire. And the guy smells that. I don't know how he smells that on top of everything else that's going on in the house, but it's burning all the chemicals off of the paper plate at the temperature she's cooking it on. And he says, "Shanna, is that burning?" She says, "Yeah, it gets a little hot I use a paper plate because I'm too lazy. He's just too lazy to cook it in a regular dish and
Oh
clean
no,
it.
we know you're lazy,
Yeah,
Shanna.
so
We
Shanna,
know,
you did. I guess you didn't have to explain that to me. I already kind of knew that.
we kind of knew. Um,
We
that's a
definitely
lot of
knew.
shit. There's a lot of shit, man. I don't know. This is fucking disgusting. I guess. Let me ask you: did you watch the episode till the end? You actually know the ending?
Yeah. So the ending of it. Spoiler
Please tell
alert.
me there's a good. Please tell me there's a good ending. Like
It's pretty good. And here's
like
what
the U.S.
happens.
wins. America wins.
Do you believe in miracles? I don't think it's really that good. It's do you believe that this actually happened? Yeah, I did. I did believe that because Shanna, the reason that she's on Hoarders initially is she's got to clean up because one of her neighbors complained to the city, and then the city came over and saw her poo covered lawn and all the horrible things that were going on there, and they issued her a fine. They gave her they gave her a date to get it all cleaned up, and Shanna said, "I don't think so. No, I'm not an American citizen today. I will not abide because it's important that I continue to just keep living life like this." And all the other kids too, they all lament. They're like, "Man, I wonder how long our mom would have lived if she hadn't lived, in that environment," which she helped
Covered in
create.
shit.
She helped create, by the way. Um, but I
So did
think
the house burn down? Did somebody bulldoze the fucking
yeah.
house? Just really care about
Yeah.
how much she.
So Shanna gets her house bulldozed down. It's obviously.
Good.
Someone crunches a
Good.
number on that. What does it cost to replace it? Well, everything is spoiled to the suds with fucking. What is that? What's that unique smell? Oh yeah, it's feces in feces
Shit.
in the urine.
Call the Property Brothers, man. Call the Property Brothers and the Fix It Flip It guys. They can do this shit. They can fix this shit, bro.
It's a bit of a fixer upper. What is that, Jonathan? It's a bit of. It's got definitely a bit of a feces in the urine hint to it.
Is that corn? Why is there corn everywhere?
Did somebody miss out with the broom? Fuck. I mean, yeah,
Fucking disgusting,
they did clean some of it out.
I just imagine her just just fucking bulldozed her home and shit. What happened to her? Right?
Yeah, so they used a small amount of money to try and get her into a living facility.
I mean, it's almost like she's worse off now. They should have just left her alone. Let her just.
Yeah, but her neighbors
in their
though, her
shit.
neighbors, they gotta have an expectation that they're not like living in a fucking sewer. You can't just throw buckets of piss
Yeah.
and shit. The dirty water. You can't just be throwing dirty water wherever you want. But there are rules against it. That's how the plague starts. If we start living like Shanna, that's absolutely how the plague starts.
It's a shame that they didn't just bulldoze it from the very beginning, like an hour in. They just handcuff her and just put her outside. This is like a big fucking not even a bulldozer, like a steamroller, like those things that they're like giant dough rollers. They crush Austin Powers. Remember in Austin Powers, there's like that flat thing that makes pavement flat. Just one of those giant things that just from start to finish crushes it slowly. And the show isn't
That'd
about
be so gross. It'd be squeezing like fucking turds out of there. Like that whole demo project.
It'd be like a toothpaste bottle, just with all the poo coming out of like the front door, just like all the.
It'd
make that sound too.
And that squeezes onto the neighbor's house, the one that fucking called on him.
Pops the septic tank. Goes flying through their window door, explodes in front of the kids.
Not covered by their homeowner's insurance. It's going to be out of pocket.
Out of pocket.
It's going to be $42,000. It ain't easy getting a septic tank out and rebuilding the roof. So
Should
thank
have gone
you.
to state. Should have gone to State Farm, dude. Or no,
Yeah,
Farmers.
should have ratted on her. And Shanna would still be fucking slinging dirty water, and you'd still have a roof. Y'all be better off.
That's what you get for snitching, man. Don't go snitch.
Yeah, I
Should have
mean
just dealt with
there are
the
times.
shit, you know.
Yeah, there are times to snitch. Right, they're few and far between. It's not when you work for like a drug gang, don't snitch. But when your neighbor is flinging dirty water all over everywhere, the guy at one point he says I could fucking smell it when I got out of the car.
It's so fucking gross, dude.
And then she was just like, well, yeah, I guess I was throwing out some dirty water there earlier. So yeah, I can see how that'd be the case. I
Like,
can see how that'd be the case.
at what point? I mean, this is gonna sound so fucked up, but I don't care. I'm gonna say it anyways to like the 3 listeners in Bangladesh. Why don't you just like euthanize her? You know what I mean? Because like if I had a, let's hear me out. Let's say I had a Maltese.
Hear me out.
And
It's more passive
I'm
form of
just-
eugenics than it is an active form. Just hear me out. I'm not a monster.
No, for real, bro. Imagine you had a Maltese and you love this Maltese and it was cute, little muffins, and then year 8, it's just shitting everywhere. What do? You go to the vet, the guy's like, "No, there's just gonna be shit nonstop forever. Your house is gonna be covered in shit." What do? You go and say, "Let me get the $250 option," where adios, just kind of finish it. I would do the same thing here, but in a nice way,
It's funny because
as
I
pleasantly
wouldn't
as possible.
because I wouldn't do that to one of my dogs, but like for whatever reason, I consider it with Shanna. Where I'm like, man,
It would be a pleasant thing,
taking away.
Get like a.
They're kind of doing a bane on her, man. They're taking away everything. She's watching her.
That's what I'm
city burn.
saying.
Then
That's-
once you
that's what
watch
I'm
your
saying.
pool pile burn to the ground, only
That's what I'm
then
saying. They're
does she
hurting her,
have
man.
permission to die.
Yeah, only then can you die. And that's why it'd be so funny just from the start, not even as an intervention, just tired of the radiator next door, have her look out the window, fucking just watch it just get crushed,
She's
That's it.
screaming, "The pile, my pile!"
Well, then you can put her on the house makeover show, get her a new house. Like you could really save this woman's life. Destroying her home and throwing her in a fucking doghouse doesn't help anybody. In fact, it fucks you and me because your tax dollars and my tax dollars are paying for that living care facility, whatever. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
have
but
A&D
I mean,
or
what are the
TLC.
odds if you got her a new house that it would fucking? How long would it last? I mean,
like
how long-
80%,
like how long till
80%
she's-
chance that within a year it's like filled with shit. It's
Yeah.
a very high percent
I'm
chance.
just saying, how long until she's slinging dirty water into the yard again? I mean, I get it. If you give her a new septic tank, maybe she's got a chance. Like, make it a 2-bathroom,
I mean-
so she's got like a backup. No excuse. No, it's no excuses. Okay, no excuses. It's just you, and there's 2 toilets. All right, keep one of them working. Just
Get
keep
her,
one.
like, the
Oh, that's
sickest
that's
toilet.
literally when you're in the Marine Corps, they talk about weapon safety rules, and there's 4 or 5 of them, and all you got to do is not break every single one of them simultaneously, and you are gonna be okay. It's the opposite for Shanna here. Like all she's got to do is one thing right. Like all you got to do is one thing right: shit in the toilet and flush it down there. Like that's the only thing she's gonna have to do. And
That's
it's sad to
amazing.
say that I don't know if she'd even be able to do that. If she'd be able to live like that.
What about you gave her like a $10,000, like one of those like awesome Japanese like toilets? You know what I mean? They have like have the like heated seats. It's got like the iPad. It's got the massager. It's got the LED lights. It's got like the the ice cream dispenser. It's like the sickest toilet ever. I think she might want to use that. Maybe.
Maybe if you got someone there that could just read, you have to get someone there to read potty train her. Like, good job, Shanna.
Yeah.
Way to shit in
Give her
the toilet.
treats and shit. Like give her a Kong ball, and every time she does,
Yeah.
you put a treat in the Kong ball, and she
Here's
puts
your-
some shit in the Kong ball. She's just gotta like lick it out, and then I'm like, she only gets it every once in a while, just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Just
Not
a
a
little
lot.
taste. Just to wean her off of it. You can't go dry. You can't just go cold turkey off of that.
Can I just get some fresh shit, please? Please, none of this frozen shit. Please, let me just get some good shit, some fresh shit.
Someone's got to
Please,
stand in
sir.
there and watch her do it. Like, flush it. Nah, I said flush it. I said flush it.
It's too big. I know. Just poke at it with the stick. Poke at it till it goes down. Don't lick the stick. Absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god.
All right, let's stop talking about this shit.
All right, let's stop talking about this shit. Any other fluff? Any other fluff to take care of here?
There's a couple. I don't know if you want to talk about them though. There's the Bohemian Boyfriends. If you wanted to bring that up.
I don't know. I mean, your transphobia can't allow you to not discuss
Well, let me
it.
talk about it. If you want to remove it from the pod later, you can remove it from the pod later. If you want to keep it, you can keep it. So, apparently it's just an ordinary couple.
Ordinary couple.
Another ordinary American couple. You know, you got
They met on Grindr.
on Grindr, just like most Americans. One is a man, just like a lot of Americans. The other is a transgendered male, which I'm cool with.
You're cool with, for the record.
I'm cool with, for the record, I'm cool with it.
He's cool.
And
because it requires you to be cool with it. Jesus.
Yeah.
So fully.
Because I don't know what they've been through. You know what I mean? I don't know what they've been through.
Yeah.
They're probably great people. But yeah, the dude's pregnant. And
it's a junior situation. We got a junior situation. Cooking
yeah, it's
here.
a little strange. There's a bunny in the oven, and I couldn't stop watching it, man. I was just so intrigued. Not because of the baby, not because of the homosexuality, but this guy's got a sick beard, and I want to reach out and find out. Super sick. I want to find out what hormones I have to take to make my beard that sick. It's like a sick one, you know? It's sick.
It was a sick beard, and I was jealous of that. They both had beards, but you could tell. I think the transgendered pregnant individual had those weird studded earrings where if you take the earring out and get the fucking floppy little holes, that they look gross. You got to keep those things looped up if you're gonna do that at all times. Don't go in public. I don't want to see that. But man, so I don't get.
You got a sick beard.
I don't get.
What don't you get, man? What don't you fucking get, you monster, jerk?
Well, I mean, I know it's not all about, what you got down there, but this part of things is. So it's like he must still have lady parts to allow this to occur, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's got to be the facts, right?
Yes.
So it's. I mean, I didn't think about this before, but it's a bearded woman situation. But I mean, not. But yes, but not. Right.
What's crazy though? This is what is crazy is this person is still taking I don't know what these transgender males take to switch from woman to female or female to male. They're taking shit to make their shit be the way it needs to be, but that stuff is going to the baby. So it's like, I think, you know what I mean?
That's interesting. I never thought about it on that level.
You're giving birth to, I mean, it could go either way. Who knows, dude? You might, it might be one of those twin situation with one comes out of twins, one's Arnold Schwarzenegger, one's Danny DeVito. It's just some odd thing that happens,
Or you could just pump out a DeVito, or you could just pump out a straight DeVito and no Arnold on the back end. Right? That's a likely scenario.
It could be a DeVito. You never know. At this point, I mean, it could be like Sloth from the Goonies. You
could be Sloth or DeVito in it. And that's not a rip on Danny DeVito. That's just a reference to his twins character. No.
That's just a reference. Yeah. We like Danny DeVito on this show.
Danny, we love you. But I don't get how you get yourself in that situation. But it's quite the situation, and I'm glad I'm not in it. I'm glad Number one, I don't have kids. Number one, I don't have kids with someone who's got a beard. I'm not hating on people with beards, but
Sick beard too, guys. We're not hating. We like the beard.
I don't want to have to
Sick
be
beard.
jealous of the mother of my child's beards. Or I guess the father of my child's beard. I don't even know.
Father.
I don't know.
You get lost
Do you-
sometimes.
how does
Sometimes
that?
you're walking down
Here's
path
here's the
and-
real question though: is how does that go in a hospital setting? Be
What
like,
do you mean?
the father is in, ready for delivery. Excuse me. Yeah, it's just the father in there. What about the mother? I'm not the mother, sir. I'm the father. Go ahead and get this baby on out of me. Right? You could misgender her. Like, yeah, I think you
feel
might
like
have to
this
get
is
ahead of
a-
that.
I feel like this is like a South Park episode, right? Like Mr. Garrison is he's Mr. Garrison's straight, then he's gay, then he turns into a woman, right? He's like a lesbian, and then he becomes a straight woman, and then turns back into a man, right? Is that how it went? Didn't he get
I think
pregnant
so.
at
I
some
think
point?
that's a general Garrison cycle. I think that's how it went.
Garrison gender cycle, yeah.
But
I gotta get back on that show, man. I gotta get back on South Park and watch that. I know you haven't been watching that either, but I gotta
I've
get
watched
back in
the
it.
first 3 episodes of the most recent season. So it's been.
You said you liked them, right? You said they were good.
They were good. They were good. They really come after the school shooting thing in a
I
funny
saw
way.
that one.
Yeah.
I saw that one. That one was. It wasn't bad, but I don't know. I kind of like when they're more childish, like Awesome-O, where like Cartman's literally stuck in a cardboard robot. Like that
Yeah.
to me is funny. I like the social commentary is good and it's needed, but I wish it wasn't done on South Park. I wish it was more slapstick and fart jokes.
Yeah. We need more dick jokes. More dick jokes, less commentary on everyone getting fucking murdered in school. Regardless of how.
Shot in like third grade. It's fucked up though, dude. That's fucked up.
I wouldn't want to be nervous about. I get nervous enough just about myself. I would hate to fucking have to be nervous
Yeah.
about
I got a
somebody.
friend who's got a kid, man, and she was telling me like she's like afraid to go to school. Remember when the Parkland one was happening down in Miami, like Fort Lauderdale? That was the
Yeah.
big one when like that kid he went around with like an AR, killed a bunch of people, just like psychopath. And her kid was like, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to die. Like that was like her argument, and her mom was like, well, you're going to be safe, these there's measures being taken, and her daughter was like, no, you can't prove that we're not safe, and
Yeah.
she was like, yeah, you know what, you're right, you're not, but you still got to go to school. Which kind of sucks. I'll be mad as fuck, but that's the world that these kids live in, so you got to feel bad for them because at that age, you want to show your dick to people, you want to play video games, you want to hang out with your friends. You shouldn't have to come and go to from school. Like, I don't know. It's kind of fucked up.
You shouldn't have to.
think
You should be
about it.
trying to be worried about your Call of Duty KD, not your high school KD. Right.
Right.
You shouldn't
If
have
you're
to
in
be
high
worried
school
about
or
that.
you're me, like, but
Just shouldn't have to. All right. Well, let's go ahead. Let's get
not at
out of
all.
here. We'll be back. We're also going to do an NFL division round podcast, so stay tuned for that. That's delightful.
We'll do that
Thank
right
you.
now.
Thank you, Poker Guy. So
It's the
we're gonna go
real
ahead,
world,
we're gonna get
bro.
that taken care
Real
of.
world. We got, what is it? The MTV Real World, bro. No secrets. Real talk.
No secrets.
The real world.
Nothing but no secrets in real talk.
Real world. We're changing the name of the pod to Real World.
To real world.